Oh, actually, have you done it?
Yeah.
Did you press it? Oh, I
Yeah.
was
Is
gonna
it
go
too?
get water. That's
Oh,
too late now. No, it's too
no,
late.
no. We can.
No, no,
You can
it's
get
too
up and
late.
go. I
No,
can
it's
talk
fine.
about. No, no. Go ahead. Get some water. You need some water. Get
Really?
some water. You should
I don't
hydrate.
even know where my bottle is. All right, I'll go get it. I'll be back.
All right.
Keep him busy.
We're gonna be busy talking about Sarah getting water in her huge ass uh, water jug thing. I can look up what a Borg is called. I mean, what it stands for. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because I'm gonna talk about Borgs, not the Star Trek, uh, the Star Trek Next Generation
It
enemy.
takes a long time for me to fill up this giant bottle of water.
Okay, so have you heard of a Borg? Not the Borg from Next
From Star
Generation.
Trek.
No, it's this new drink thing that kids are doing.
No. What is it?
Okay, it stands for Blackout Rage Gallon. And what you do is you get a gallon of water
Hmm.
and you get rid of half of it. You can drink it or whatever. Get rid of half of the drink of water. Take a fifth of vodka, put it in there. Put packs of electrolyte stuff for hangovers. Kind of like over here we have like liquid IV. You put
Yeah.
like several packs of liquid IV in there, enough to do a full gallon.
That actually
And
works, by the way. That's
yeah,
actually a hangover cure that works.
but
Electrolytes are good.
yeah, and then you throw in Kool Aid or whatever kind of water flavoring to it, and
Yeah.
you just carry out your own gallon. You go to a party and you drink out of your gallon and get all fucked up, which comes out to about, I think it was like between 14 and 17 light beers, something like that.
Whoa, really? Wait, how much
Yeah,
vodka did you say? I
a
thought you just
fifth.
said 5 shots.
No, a
Oh, a
fifth.
fifth of a gallon. Right.
Um, I don't. A fifth is what? 750 milliliters.
Do these people also take their like salad, their dinner, and their dessert and just throw it all in the same bowl? So throw it in a blender and just fucking blend it all together and
I
drink it.
like. I
Do
like
these
the
people do that?
idea. I don't think they
No,
do that,
you
but I'd
don't.
do that. I'll
Did you
do.
get your coconut the other day?
No, I didn't. I'm still craving
Oh,
coconut.
you're
I'd like.
still desperate for coconut.
Yeah, I still hadn't gotten my coconut
Oh, that's
fix
a
yet.
shame.
But I'll find coconut somehow. Not
So,
coconut water, just coconut.
yeah, not coconut water. That'll make you go
Bad
do the
places.
wee runs
Yeah.
thing, wee poos. Did you? Did you? How many people are on the board game group now?
86,000, 87,000, somewhere around
Okay,
there.
so did you purposefully just use that thumbnail just for the social that had the most people, like the most reach? You did, right?
It's okay because people don't care what I say in there. So I'm a
I
nobody in
don't
my
think
own group.
it's so funny, isn't it? It's so weird. Like, yeah, it's like
I
you
used to be the main person and like everybody used to love me and then I just like fell
and
off.
no
I
one
just
loves
stopped
you anymore.
posting. Yeah. I just stopped posting and you have to interact.
And now everyone's like, who is this guy?
Right. Why
They
does he
haven't
have?
connected that you are the guy that started it,
Right. Right.
right?
And every once in a while I'll get the urge to go and start messaging, like I'll go and maybe talk to like six people real quick and then I I lose interest pretty quick because the games that they're talking about are just so outside of my scope. They're like it's such a general purpose group and I've just outgrown the scope of the group and I can't just like destroy the group. It's so
No,
big, it's its own thing and plus, it's a revenue generator, so it's a passive
right.
income revenue, it's semi-passive revenue generator. So
And people are having fun in there. They just don't want to have fun with you.
right, I'm not the
Right.
guy. I'm not the
So
guy.
it'd be like if Banksy was like, someone we all knew and we just didn't know it was him and we treated him like shit. Like if it was someone really bad, like
They do treat me
Rob
like shit.
Schneider or something. um, so you were laughing about something before. So I just had this like funny moment with this friend of mine that I've known her since I was like 12, since the start of high school.
Hmm.
We haven't spoken in like a year. And one of the reasons is apparently because I'm a board gamer.
To call yourself just a board gamer though is like cutting it a little short. You're more than just a board gamer.
Thanks,
What were
babe.
you doing just a few
What were you
moments
going to
ago?
say? What am I then?
What?
What am I?
You are
Huh?
more than just a board gamer. You're way more than just a board gamer. You're
And I'm
pretty
like, well, we
involved.
don't have to talk about board games. It's not like that's all I talk about, you know? It's not like you can't call me because I only talk about board games. And then I was like thinking back in my head, I'm like, have I actually done this? Has she called me and all I've talked about is board games? Never. I've never done that with her. I don't
Do you remember
expect her to talk
how
about board
you
games either.
were with Dark Souls? I had no interest in Dark Souls.
Excuse me. You talk to me about socks for an hour.
I
All
know, I
right.
know. I'm not saying it's
Nothing has
bad.
been more boring than that. Okay.
Right, right.
Even
But
my Dark Souls
I'm not
rants have
saying it was
not
boring.
been
All I'm
socks.
saying is that if you got into something, it's possible that you did talk about board games that you were really into at the time. And she's like, "What?"
No, but
It's
I haven't done
possible.
that.
Hmm.
I haven't.
Okay.
I promise you I haven't. I'd know.
Hmm.
Because with you, I'm fully aware that I'm about to go into
Dark
a
Souls.
Dark Souls rant. And I'm just like, well,
No, which I'm fine with hearing about the Dark Souls. I played a little, well, Elden, so it's cool. It's whatever.
it's whatever.
It's
Yeah.
whatever.
So you're just being mean to me today, like posting my weird thumbnail and you're laughing at me about my friend not
I'm
wanting to
not
talk to me because
laughing
I'm a
at
board
you. I'm
gamer.
laughing with
You
you
were
to
laughing.
think. I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing with you. It's funny that someone would think that that's all you could talk about.
You know, I actually get a lot of like people sending me screenshots of me pulling a weird face in a thumbnail. I think I have a very expressive face, and
Hmm.
I think it's because I grew up when Jim Carrey was a thing. I'm going to blame it on him.
So you were what, mimicking Jim Carrey or something,
I
or did he say?
I don't know. It
Or
was the
did he say
thing.
okay?
I don't know. It was just a thing that
Hmm.
I just a connection I made today. You don't think it's relevant? I think it might be. I
I don't think it's
think it was
relevant.
like
It's like blaming somebody else for something you do.
it's definitely Jim Carrey's fault,
Oh,
100%. No, I don't know. I think like humor, you develop your sense of humor when you're a kid. And if you're watching like something, a lot of something, like Jim Carrey was huge when I was a kid. It was like The
mm-hmm.
Mask was like massive. So maybe like I've, uh, like part of my humor is dumb faces because Jim Carrey used to pull like dumb faces.
Do you
Could
think
be.
people who grew up listening to Weird Al Yankovic they develop their humor that way?
Yes.
Because I was
Mm.
listening, like I didn't really realize, you know, that stupid thing that was going on Twitter, like the name five fucking shows that you watched and
Oh,
to
yeah.
describe yourself, whatever the fuck. I put Def Comedy Jam because I used to watch the fuck out of that. I mean, I loved Death Comedy Jam, and that was like really foul language in there. And
Oh, well,
I
there you go.
there you go.
Well, this is an easy connection
Yeah,
there.
there you go. And maybe that humor connected with me. I don't know.
It
But then
spoke to
also it
you.
makes me
And now you speaking like that.
what with
Potty
bad
mouth.
with potty mouth. Maybe I don't know, but I know it made me more. I guess see different styles of comedy that weren't in my my peripheral. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm a there's no like Hispanic comedians on there, nor were
Mm.
there very many white comedians. There were all mostly black comedians. So it was really cool to see a different perspective, but something close to what I was used to. So you know,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
cool. But maybe that did something with my humor. I don't know.
Might have rubbed off a little bit.
Maybe.
I mean, you got your potty mouth from somewhere.
My mom's pretty bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she is pretty bad. Oh, so have you heard of a movie called Cocaine Bear?
No.
There's a horror movie called
Right.
Cocaine Bear
Right.
based on true events. So I just saw the trailer and I'm like Cocaine Bear, and I've been seeing a lot of like Cocaine Bear stuff. So I looked it up. Okay, so the movie is going to be a bear that gets on cocaine and then starts going rage killing people,
Right.
and like goes
Yeah.
looking for. I guess it might go looking for cocaine, but it's basically strung out. So it's based on true events. So I went and go and looked up the true events.
Wow.
Not that cool. Not that cool.
No. Well,
Basically,
it's
a
not.
a dude fell out of a dude was jumping out of a plane with bags of cocaine and money. A
Hmm.
bear went. Dude died. A bear went and found some, and then I guess he got a taste for it, and he ate like I don't know a shit ton of cocaine and died. when they found the
Oh,
bear, he had a cardiac arrest and all this other stuff, and
poor
they
thing.
I know, and then they went and they turned him into a stuffed animal, and now
Oh
he's at some
no,
mall, and they have like cocaine
oh
bear merchandise and shit, and it's like all
that's
this
horrible.
this story of just a poor bear that comes across coke and then dies, and
Right,
they have like merch and stuff you can buy, like I hate that word, merchandise. They have merchandise of like cocaine bear shirts and stuff like that, and then he gets made into a movie, and the movie is like glorifying this bear that's supposed to kill people. It's a horror
right,
movie. It's probably a horror comedy, I would assume.
yeah,
But yeah, and I was like really disappointed in the actual story. It's like this is, just based on true events. It's so loosely based. It's just a bear got
right.
cocaine
The
once.
bear didn't
That's
kill
it.
anybody.
No, or if he did, he didn't get busted for it. Got busted. He died for cocaine OD.
I
Suck.
guess they see it as though they're like honoring Cocaine Bear's death. You know, he didn't die in vain because
Yeah, like
we
what?
can
What
tell
is the
this story
use?
and we all learned something from we all learned
Really,
something
don't
from
do a
this
lot of cocaine if you're a bear.
in the
What do we
forest.
learn?
If you come across, if you walk through the forest
If you
and
jump out of a
see
plane with a lot of cocaine, watch out because bears can get in it and then they will go crazy and die.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I don't
cocaine
know
bear.
either.
That's
When you started talking about like a horror thing, I thought you were gonna like. I thought it was gonna be really good. I was getting excited because I like have this newfound thing where I think I'm into
into
horror a
horror
little bit.
movies.
But now that you've explained that, I'm now back off. I've cooled on horror again.
Well, don't let cocaine bear stop you.
Well, I just read that. So I read that oh Ian's not here, but Ian recommended that manga to me.
Hmm.
Uzumaki, I think it was called. And it was so good. I really need to have that conversation with him how good it was. It was an awesome one. Loved it. I loved how it was all these little stories that wove
Hmm.
together in the end. So clever.
That's cool.
I couldn't put it down. I like read it. I read half of it on the way to Brisbane and then half of it, and then finished it on the way back.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just smashed it in like, I guess it was only 2 hours really.
Mm.
Yeah.
You have
Now I just
to.
want to like read all of his.
I have to check it out and see what I think. See if I like it.
Mm.
See if I'm into it.
There was some really different stuff in there. I think you would like it because it's very unpredictable. You really
Mm.
don't know. There was only a couple of times where I thought, oh, I think I have an inkling what's going to happen in this one. But he has some seriously original ideas in there.
Mm. That's cool. I had to check
Yeah.
it out. What was it again? What's the title?
Uzumaki.
Okay, I had to check it out.
Uzumaki. Yeah. By Junji Ito. I think his name is. He's done
Cool.
so many. He's got like a huge repertoire. So I need to like read all of them.
Oh, that's
Gotta
cool.
catch them all. Yeah, the one I first heard about was No Longer Human.
Hmm.
That one sounds really interesting. So that I definitely want to get that at some point. That might be my next one.
Mm. I'll definitely look into it. If I don't, then when I go there, I'll check it out when I'm there. Like if we're going somewhere and I'm waiting, I can just start doing that instead of playing on the deck like I
Yeah.
did before, which would be cool. Did you think any of the stuff that I sent you? Like I only sent you two questions. I didn't know if you thought about it at all because I got plenty of stuff to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, let's talk about them. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. The last one.
Uh, let's
It's good.
see. I don't
I thought you only
remember.
sent me one question.
No, there were two. There were two separate ones.
I don't have my phone here.
Oh, let me see. What were they?
You
Uh,
asked me about limiting collections. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that or not.
Go ahead. Start if you want.
Well, this was going to be a question in Discord,
Oh,
but
well, let's just
I
wait.
was going to say, how
Just
does
pose
everyone
the question.
limit their collections? Because we were talking about potentially one day, like, I love the idea of going down to like your top 25 or top 50 or top 100 and just being like really, strict with it and just doing that. And then maybe like a friend of mine went down to 25 games and then he would only get a new one if he sold one. And I was like,
Mm.
25, that must be amazing. Can you imagine how much freedom you'd feel?
Would
And
that
you'd be able
be
to play the games that you
would
have.
that be 25 each?
What do you
We'd
mean
have to
25
agree
each?
it.
Oh, like
25.
if it was you and I,
Yeah,
25
or would
each.
it be
Yeah,
a
for sure.
100?
We wouldn't be able to agree on the
Right.
25 that we're keeping. There's no way
It,
we'd be able to agree.
my problem is okay. So when we get to the 18xx or Age of Steam, am I counting each expansion map as a fucking game, or am I going? Okay, each Age of Steam expansion map or every map, is that a whole new thing?
No,
Or,
it's not a whole new game. Otherwise, Age of Steam, that would be it. How many expansion maps are there? There's more than 25.
fuck tons, over
Exactly.
hundreds. There's
So
hundreds. And then on what about
expansions are
18xx?
okay.
What about
Depends.
18xx?
Uh,
Is
well, that's all different game. That's
Yeah, that's all different games.
right. Right.
This is seeming very limiting all of a sudden.
Yeah. You can't deal now.
I can't deal. I would have to do like 100, maybe,
Hmm.
maybe minus 100 or so.
Yeah, 100 would be great. I feel like I have 100 games that I really, really couldn't part with. And then I
Hmm.
have like a bunch of stuff I probably could. But I do like to try new stuff, probably more so than you. You're like done with new games, really, kind of.
Right. I'm gonna wait
Agree.
for the cream de rise.
Yeah.
They'll tell me. Someone will tell me it is good. Try it. And I don't have to be the first one to try it. And I don't have to be the 10th to try it. Just had to try it at some point before I die. So,
But I'm getting better at figuring out what I like. And so I very rarely get a game that I'm really unhappy with.
hmm.
So that's good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can sniff them out now.
that's good until you can't until you're wrong.
I fail sometimes. All right. So what were the questions?
Uh, let's see. Um, wait, that wasn't it. This whole thing about playtesters.
Yeah.
Trusting the playtesters or not trusting, like giving the playtesters what they want versus doing what you feel is right. So this question comes because I was reading on Twitter, some dude was like, "Hey, he had a rant about Dominion. He said that the problem with Dominion is the cost of um the VP cards. It's an opportunity cost. And he says people don't like that part of Dominion where they have to stop doing stuff and then buy victory points. And like when he was playtesting, he's recently made a deck builder, and it was based on the, I guess, Dominion engine.
Mm.
And some of the playtesters were like, "Well, look, we really don't like to have to buy victory points. So, like, what's that famous space one that's a deck builder?
Clank.
No, the space one. Clank is the
Clank
dungeon
in
one.
space.
No, no, no. It's
I don't know.
I know it's got an app that's like a really good app.
It's a
R-
deck builder
Is,
in
is
space.
it is it Star Realms? Is that it?
Oh fuck. Yeah, I hate that
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, so that one has
Yeah.
victory
I
points
blocked that
on
out
the
of my memory.
like that one has victory points on the actual engine itself, just like Summoner Wars does. They have the victory point stuff in the, or I
Well, the
mean
Star
Ascension.
Realms that I had, you had to take out the opponent.
Mm,
You had to. Maybe there's multiple
maybe I don't
victories.
remember.
I don't know.
And Summoner isn't not Summoner Wars. Ascension isn't that the same?
I haven't played Ascension.
Oh, okay. So like he's going to make changes based on the idea that like his playtesters don't like buying victory points because
Right.
it stops them from having fun.
Yeah.
What they think is the
What's so
fun
fun?
part. Right. So
Right.
like my argument is like if a child wants to have shit tons of candy, do you just let them have candy?
Right.
Like
Right.
I think that if you're trying to do something, like the point of that whole spending the opportunity cost in
Yeah.
Dominion is knowing when to make that turn between
Right.
building and turning it into points. And if you get that
100%. And then
wrong, someone will beat you.
yep. And then you have that like whole excitement, like you said, of like um from there you're getting less and less powerful. So then it's like
Right.
tension, especially if you're going, if you and I are playing and we're both about at that curve at the same time and we're starting to buy those things. it's kind of like, oh, whose deck's going to fail them before the other person's kind of thing. Yeah, it's really weird. I think that people have, they just don't have that understanding of why things should happen in a game. Like they don't have the design brain. It's all right to have a player brain where it's like, I know what I have fun with. I know the bits that are fun.
Mhm.
And so I'm just going to make a game that only has fun. But it only takes a little while, surely, for you to realize when you're designing a game that there's a reason why there aren't games that are just fun from start to finish, that you have to have limitations. It's the same thing. Someone said this in the board game group the other day. They were like, I hate having to, we all hate having to feed our workers in Agricola. So why do we have it? It's like, really? Have you thought about this? If you don't have some limitations or restrictions, you're just going to be able to just get
Right.
whatever resources you want and do all the things that you want. And then you're going to play the game and go,
You said the
this
key
is fun.
thing, tension, introduce.
Yeah.
I don't think if you leave a person to their own devices, they're going to go and want tension. Like they're going to
Mm.
not want tension. The whole point is to release the tension, and the
Yeah.
designer's putting the tension on you and you're
Right.
trying to release it or deal with the tension.
It's like
So
a
I think
comedian who sets up a joke like that and it's like, oh,
right.
don't leave
And
me like this.
it's that thing, it's what I always say to people is find yourself a developer. Find yourself either someone who craves that part or has a lot of experience developing or knows about at least a developing field, or a designer who understands tension or that kind of a thing, because that's the value of a developer, is they're going to look at tension and release and pace, where if you just take the advice of playtesters, then you're going to get a lot of games that are like in the scene now where it's just I build a lot of stuff alone, solitaire, have fun, engine stuff. I think you can find a lot more engine stuff the more you allow your playtesters to influence you. But that's just my opinion and what
Yeah.
I deal with.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think I've seen a little bit of that happen,
Really?
sadly. Yeah, I think I've
Oh,
seen
yeah, I think I know what you're
designers
talking
just
about. Yeah.
take on a bit too much from playtesters and be walked all over by playtesters. And the playtesters be like, you should have this and you should have that and you should have this and that. And, that. And it's like, what?
Well,
Why is everyone telling you what to do?
as you've seen, playtesters love to give
Right.
their
They do.
ideas. And I'm
Of
not saying
course.
it's a bad medium for it, but there's also on the extreme other end is like dealing with like Ryan Courtney. I haven't seen him take a whole lot of advice from other people.
Mm,
So I've seen a lot of advice given. I've seen
mm,
very little taken as far as
mm.
actually implementing them in the game. But I'm sure the data that he receives for the playtest is influencing numbers, and he's getting
For
overall
sure.
impression.
Yeah, I'd say that. I think I'm guilty with that with Ryan. I think I've suggested stuff with Ryan, but now I don't do it anymore because I know they don't want that. Just tell them what you thought of the game. Just feedback.
And
Just
then
tell them what you thought.
ask them what they
Yeah.
want from you,
Well, they
and
should
then
just tell you. They should.
they
The
should
designer
they
should
should
ideally
it should.
say, "I want your feedback."
But some young designers don't even know that part. They're just like,
True.
well, I'm wanting to
They just
play
want.
it and give me suggestions, and it's like, no, what do you want? What do you really need? What
Yeah.
was the point of this playtest?
Yeah. Am I here just to move the things?
Right, which is
Do you care
beautiful.
what I have to say? Just shut up and move the pieces.
Well, okay, so that's interesting. So okay, so in a design group that I was reading today,
Yeah.
this guy, he goes, his question was, I've got a mechanism that's difficult to understand, and I'm having a hard time selling it to a publisher because they're saying that the mechanism is too difficult. Can you give me help on figuring out how to get past this? And then his next sentence was something like, maybe I should look at Turing Machine and how he did it. And then he explained the mechanism, and the mechanism isn't really difficult. Like the
Okay.
mechanism is really fucking easy.
Right.
So I would say, like, my one of my initial impression is, hey, find the publisher that fits what you're doing. Like if
Mm.
you're going to do something complex, find the publisher that does complex stuff so they can help you. Two, find a developer that'll look at this thing. But then, really thinking about it, how often should you be married to your mechanic? Like, isn't the point the story? Like, what are you trying to do versus the mechanic? I mean, you can come up with a really cool mechanic, right? But that
Yeah,
doesn't mean necessarily that you need to use it right now, right here. Like, if a
that's
mechanic
true. You can
comes
be
become,
flexible.
yeah, I think that's one of the places that I think that early designers get stuck on is like, I need to come up with this really cool mechanism.
Mm.
And it's like, you need to come up with what you're trying to do, and the mechanisms are the part that's the fun part. That's you just play with 5,000 mechanisms. You just do shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends, I guess. Like if
It
you know,
does.
if that's what he has started with and that's what he really thinks works for that, then I can understand. Like some things you like any creative project, some things you compromise on, some things you don't want to compromise on.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, who told him it was difficult? Was it like the playtesters that
He said the
told him it was
publisher
difficult?
said it was difficult,
Oh,
and
the publisher.
the players don't understand it at first, and by like the fourth or fifth round they understand it. But I can explain it pretty easily. I mean, it's you have rows of dice,
Hmm.
and you get new dice, and you push dice in from one side, they push out the other side, and the
Hmm.
die that comes out the other side, you take that number, and you'll have patterns. Those go into other patterns, so it's pattern making. That's
Right.
what it was explained as, and I'm like, oh, I fucking get it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that's not that hard.
Push in,
I would have
push
thought.
out, whatever
Yeah.
comes out, they part of a
Put
pattern.
in a thing.
Right, pretty simple. So
Dice Azul. That's what it is.
it kind of sounds like it, something like that. So it's like a
Everything's Azul.
three-step remove bingo. So
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think, I think you're right. I think people do have that, oh, we need a catchy mechanism. But that's silly. Like, there really is not that many new mechanisms. Everyone's just mixing them all up. And how do you come up with a new mechanism? Like, you can't really. It's all just a new slant on it, and it doesn't really matter. Like, I just played that shit whistle game, and that didn't have any new mechanics. It was all just the same mechanics. It was just like pick actions, do actions, you know.
yeah,
But
and
it worked, and it was amazing. And
like there wasn't a huge amount of new stuff in Barrage. It was just put together really well.
yeah,
There was a couple of new little things, but overall, it was a tight game with the mechanisms that pretty much already existed, made in
right.
new
There
ways,
are
stretched
mystical
out, changed.
mechanisms with some Sulcan mechanisms. It was
Right.
yeah, it was nothing real new.
But it's fucking excellent because of the way that it was put together. And you're
Right.
going to see a lot of that. I think, okay, so like if you look at the original Dominion and how long ago that was, it's over 10 years now since Dominion first
Yeah.
hit the scene.
Yeah.
If you really, really look at it, it wasn't a revolution in mechanics. It was a revolution in how to use those mechanics because every part of it we've already done with the deck. If you have a deck, you must draw cards. If you
Right.
draw cards, you have to figure out how to discard them. How do you get new cards? All those questions are questions you ask every time you pull up a deck. But the
Right.
revolutionary part was how they were all implemented together
Mm.
into this thing, and I don't think one mechanism really does that. And in fact, that turns me off the most. If today I pick up a game and look at the back and it says some new mechanism, blah, 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 I'm turned off. I'm way
Really?
turned off. Yeah. I don't want to fucking hear that. Who else is, everyone's going to say it. Everyone's going to
Yeah.
say it. I came up with a new way to do worker placement. And
Right.
it's like, I don't care.
You know
What do
why I'm
you,
laughing at you, babe?
what?
Can I tell you why
Go
I'm
ahead. Go ahead.
laughing? Because because last time it was like I don't want to play trick taking games because everyone's making trick taking games.
Right.
So you don't want to do that because everyone's doing it. And
Right.
now if someone says they've got something new, that turns you way off. So
Yeah, because everybody
that's
says it.
basically it. So that's
No,
basically
everybody
it.
says it.
You're not you can't play anything now because you don't want to
You
play
can't play
anything
anything.
new and you don't want to play anything the same.
Just show it to me and don't make me read the back. No, if you're gonna sell me a game, sell me on the theme.
Yeah.
Sell me not on
Why are you
not a
selling me?
fantasy theme, but like a
Right.
theme. I want something
Trains.
really dry. Spice trading on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Coal mining.
Coal mining
That's
all
it.
day long, every
Yeah.
day, for
Yeah.
sure.
Trains, cars,
Oh, definitely.
some kind of vehicle.
Locomotion. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Definitely. I've got this badass way to do worker placement. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of worker placement. You're
What else are you going to do with workers? You're going to place them.
gonna
They're going to
place
go
them.
to work.
You probably will. Yeah.
I've got a non-worker worker placement. They stay at home. They collect welfare. They
They go
balance the
home,
books.
collect welfare.
Yeah, they
Oh,
they figure out how to have the most fulfilled life with doing the least amount of work. The moment that you place a worker, the game is you've lost the game. He went to work. He's
he
no
went to
longer
work and now his
yeah, he's
life's
no
over.
longer a slacker like the
Yeah.
rest of them. This is a game
That's
about being
good,
the
actually. You always come
slacker.
up with great ideas. This is an amazing game. I want to play this game.
You're sitting there like this guy really wants the bag of Cheetos or what is y'all's twisty what are y'all's
Yeah, twisties.
yeah. This guy really wants a bag of twisties. He's got to go to work. Fuck. To get some twisties.
How Australian is it, twisties? It just sounds so Australian.
It does. It very
You know,
much
like
does.
Cheetos sounds
It's such an American
American.
thing, and it's an
Yeah,
American color, that bright orange fucking neon
right.
shit.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, can I talk about shift change?
Yeah.
Oh man,
No, you can't.
it was so
Shit whistle.
uncompromising. It really was like shit whistle. So Dean got like 79 and I got 36 points or something. It was crazy. You know, you start with negative points in the game. You
Nice.
start
I
with a
love
bunch of
that.
yeah. You start with a bunch of tools. Each tool is like -2 points. You
Hmm.
gain a lot more tools over the course of the game. You have to lose them somehow. Um, there's like it's just so hard. And I think I did like a little bit of everything, and that's clearly not the way to go. You need to like
Ah.
specialize in something. Specialize in something. It feels a little bit kind of like it has that Terra Mystica thing going in that you like start so small, but then if you push for something, you'll like unlock a bunch more things. You get a lot more income. You'll get a lot more like flexibility.
Hmm.
And Dean just found out how to do that. And so by the end of it, he'd built most of his stuff. He'd got rid of most of his tools. He'd sold all of the coke that he needed to sell,
Mm.
the coal cokes. And I was just looking at him like, how the hell what was that? What was that? How did you just do that? And I was
So
just failing so hard at everything I did in that game.
I do want to say something about that. Doing a little bit of everything, but if we can remember that, we can come back to it.
You can say it right now.
Oh
The
well,
only other thing I was going to say was
go
that
ahead.
I think that this game is like the opposite of what people want right now, because it's just people are going
Awesome.
to play that and they're going to be like, the winner, you know, was almost 50 points ahead of me. You know, this game's broken. Like, that shouldn't be. And they're just going to find it like too mean and too
That means I'm gonna love it.
uncompromising. Yeah, you're going to love it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So first part about that, going a little bit of everything. That's a very common thing now. And I understood it in Agricola because, like, Snyder made a good point the other day by saying he did not like, in our Discord, he said he didn't like Agricola. And I thought he was going to say something that I wasn't going to favor, but he said he doesn't like that you have to do a little bit of everything. And
Right.
it's a contradictory thing because if you're going to be a farmer who is trying to be, um, I guess, an old school farmer, you're going to have a rotation of crops and you're going to have a little bit of everything and you're going to
Yeah.
have a better
It makes
it
sense with the theme for sure.
right,
With
right.
the theme, it
Like
makes sense.
yeah, but if you were going to be a modern farmer, you do this monoculture crap that like is environmentally harmful, and I'm glad that it doesn't do that, but that's what a modern game probably would show. Like you would maximize in one thing and go as far as you want. I mean, modern games don't do that. Modern games go very wide instead of going
Yeah.
narrow. And so like when you look at a different type of theme, other games have a wide strategy and a narrow strategy. Like someone's going to go very specific and do one thing really good and someone's going to do a bunch of shit half-ass or whatever. And it's it's interesting that you said that this game doesn't it didn't
I
reward you
think
for
this
going
game
wide.
Right. I think this
which is
game
cool.
doesn't reward for that because there are these like tracks
I
that
love
you
tracks.
go up. Yeah. And you will love these tracks because you know what? They're rail tracks or
Nice.
canal tracks or
Nice.
roads.
Very nice.
Um, so we're
I
in the
like it.
vehicle domain again.
I'm very turned on right now.
So so tenor right now.
Yeah. You didn't say new mechanisms. You said tracks and
Track.
they're vehicle tracks.
Oh yeah. And then there's like the workers shift, so the workers move as well. So there's bonuses to be made there, and like basically the bonuses on these things are really good if you get further down them. So you, yeah, you have to specialize. But the thing is, when you specialize in one, you will get to move the other things up anyway. So it works out. It works
Hmm.
out. It's just like go for something to begin with, and then you'll have the flexibility and the actions to be able to do a whole lot more, and then you'll leave everyone else in the dust. And that's basically what happened.
So
I did so badly.
do you think that it matters that if you lose by 10 points versus 50 points, is it a big difference in the game, or do you think it's just going to be a natural thing? Because that's also a thing with games. Like some games don't matter. It doesn't matter if you lose by 50 or 1,000. It doesn't really matter.
Loser's a
It's all the
loser.
same. Yeah, loser's a loser. The points aren't significant in that way. What's significant is, did somebody win? Like, what if you look at? I always talk about food chain magnet in that way. It doesn't matter how much you lose by. It's either it's one winner. That's it. It doesn't really matter unless you're really close.
I think some gamers will look at this and just be like, no, that I don't think they'll like it. I really think that like for me personally, I don't care. I put stats in my BG stats app so that I know that I'm getting better or worse at a game or whatever. I like to have those numbers, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that's super geeky, but I do like to have those numbers and see if I'm getting better because like if I start losing, like inevitably, you know, when our graph like meets up and we
Mm-hmm.
hit that point where you've learned the game and then you're starting to get better and I'm starting to get slowly worse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know that I'm at least beating my last score, and then I don't have to care about you. It's like a little, it's, you know, compensation or whatever you call it. It's like, no, it's a consolation prize. Like, oh, at least I beat my previous score.
Right, but like with food chain, that data would be worthless.
Right. With
Like
food
it
chain, it
wouldn't
would. You're
matter.
right.
Yeah, and so the that's my question. Is it? Do
Yeah.
you think it's worthless data in this game, or too early to
No,
tell?
I don't think it's worth a starter in this game.
You think
I think
you'll
it's a
be able to
good, I
slowly
think it's
progress,
points. Yeah, points is progress in this one.
and it
It's
matters.
not you're not really screwing other people over that much in this
Mm,
game. Not like Food Chain, where you could
mm.
just take away someone's revenue
And then you have
entirely.
that
And just
variability
weird
of
shit
what people
happens.
throw in, and whether it's going to be a shorter or longer game, and all that shit.
Right, right. All that stuff. You're right. With Food Chain, it's totally, yeah, it's essentially irrelevant.
And some 18xx's are that way too. That's irrelevant. And then some Age of Steam maps are also that way. Just really
Yeah.
depends.
I mean, other than just painting the picture of, oh, yeah, remember this Food Chain magnate where you just like totally screwed me and I made $30 and you
Yeah,
made
yeah, I can
800
see
and
that.
something dollars. Yeah, that would be kind of funny, I guess. But
Mm.
yes, this wasn't like that. Um, I don't mind, like, obviously, I don't mind losing. And so I don't have that thing of like, it doesn't make me feel any different to lose by a lot or to just lose by a little,
Mm. Unless it's to me. Unless it's
unless
to
it's
me.
to you. And then I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, God, how did I
you'll
lose
never
to
hear
him?
the end
How
of
did
it.
I lose to him?
Exactly. You'll never hear the end of it. I'll definitely just dig at you all day long.
No, I hope you don't think I'm really like that. Because, like, so Lachlan said something in our Discord the other day, and he said there's this couple that he plays with.
Hmm?
I can't remember exactly what he said, but Lachlan from our Discord said something about he plays with this couple, and she just plays every move to try and like screw up her partner.
Mm.
And and he just doesn't really care. But she's like, you know, she wants blood. She's after his blood all the time whenever they play. I hope you don't think I'm really like that
No,
with you.
no, I wouldn't play with you because I don't like randomness in games
Yeah.
introduced by players that are just like, I don't care who wins kind of people, and I don't like people
Yeah.
who don't look after their own interests. And I consider that, like, if I can't if you are going to play a game and not look after your own interests
Right.
completely,
Yeah.
then I have to question whether I should play with you. Like, what are
Right.
the interests you're playing this game for? Who are you trying to make win? Who are you trying to make lose? What's your ulterior motive? And if it's not, if it's if it breaks that contract, that social contract with gaming for me,
Right.
for me, we're
Yeah.
all competing to win, and
To
the
win, not
yeah,
yeah.
and I rarely play with somebody in my game group that isn't into winning. If you're not into winning, at least tell me you're playing the best that you can. Now, I'm not saying you care about winning. I just not playing to say, oh, I'm just moving around pieces and having fun. I need you to try to do the best that you can because ultimately that's all we're trying to do. Everyone's trying to do the best that we can. We just put winning as the goal, but that's not really the goal. The goal is just to do the best you can. It's
Right.
just to make it, I guess, an easy goal to see.
Okay, I've got a question for you.
Oh, I don't have answers, so.
You do. I hope you do.
Oh, I
No, no, no.
don't.
You know how you're always like trying to figure out a way to psych people out, including like you always trying to like have the
I don't know what you're talking about.
psychological advantage.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so what's the
You said
question?
it on this stream.
What's your
You've
question?
said it
Yeah,
multiple
what's
times.
what's your question?
Okay, so my question is, what if I did that sometimes? What if I was like, I don't want him to predict what I'm going to be like. So sometimes I just act crazy, like I just want you to come down, like I just want you to lose, and even if I lose more, right? And then but then other times I do act
It's
normal,
like
like I want to win. What if it's just like every time I do something crazy different?
can we call that what is it? We call it board game bipolar.
Yeah,
Not to make fun of bipolar, but just
right,
saying that there's something a little bit extreme in this version of a person playing.
right, right.
That would be difficult to play against. If it wasn't often enough, it would drive me nuts. It would definitely drive because it wouldn't be enough times for me to go, look, I can't play with you because you play sporadically,
Right.
but it would be just enough as like you're screwing me up. You're
Oh my
screwing
god,
me
this
up.
is amazing. I'm gonna do this every now and then.
Every now and then do something really shitty.
Yeah, just be act just fucking weird. And you'll be like, "What are you doing? That's not a good move for you." And I'll be like, "You'll see."
At the end, it's like I didn't see it. It's like it's a longer plan than that.
And then later you find out that I'd given everyone else $50 to like
Uh,
just try and screw you up. No,
I'd be pissed
I
off. I would be
honestly
pissed
don't play
off.
like
Where's
that.
my $50? I'm more mad about the $50 than I.
Yeah, you'll be like, I would lose. Just give me the
Oh, give me
50.
$50, guys. I'll take $50 any day. I would consider myself winning. You know how many times I've sat at a game and said, would like to have said, no, I'm not playing. I would have won. I would have won. Just
Yeah,
winning by just not playing.
winning by not playing. Well,
Yeah, because
like
I'd
I
have had a
think
better time than those losers playing that game.
yeah, because I just want to like obviously, I do like to tease you a bit when we're playing, and if there is an opportunity to screw you up when it is good for me, then of course I'm going to take it, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to feel bad for you and not take that. But
I would hope
other
not.
times when but other times if I've seen something, like in Corrupt City, for example, like if you had the opportunity to do something, I'd be like, no, you can do it, go over there, and that would give you more points. So
Yeah,
like I'm
I
nice to you sometimes.
expect you to screw me.
And I
Like
don't
I
have to
just
do that. You wouldn't do that with me, I don't think.
what?
Depends on the game. Depends on how close the score is.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
Specifically, depends on the game.
Yeah. You would go you I know what you would do sometimes. Sometimes you do this, you'd be like, a few turns ago, like it's too late now, but a few turns ago you could have done that, but you didn't. And I'd be like,
I would do
fuck.
that. Yes, I would.
Yeah, you
I would
would.
do that 100 times because
Yeah.
it's psychological baggage. You're carrying that
It's
baggage with
horrible.
you, going, "This son of a bitch could have helped me,
Yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah.
fucking didn't, and he is fucking pissing me the fuck off."
Yeah. I'm gonna murder him later.
I cannot believe he's that kind of gamer that
Right.
wouldn't
It's
fucking
like
help me.
when we played Victory through Industry, and I put all my factories next to each other so they couldn't produce because I screwed
I
up. It
thought
was the
that's what you
second time we
wanted.
played that game, by the way.
I thought
Oh my
that's
god.
what you wanted.
You thought that's what I wanted. Fuck you.
I thought that's what you wanted. I was like, okay, she's got her own thing.
Shut up. And you
She's a
didn't
good.
tell me. And I swear to God, I had like 4 turns or something while it was like that. And then I was like, oh no, look what I've done. And I'm like, oh, look what I've done, babe. Look what I've done.
Uh,
And you're sitting there and I could see on your face that you knew what I'd done. You knew it. Oh my God.
do you
I was
remember
crushed.
remember what happened at the end? I said I won, and I was like, oh, it was just it was just luck. I didn't say it
It's
like she
just
fucked up.
luck.
It's just pure luck. I didn't like plot that I'm not going to tell her. I'm just going to watch this thing happen. I'm going to
Oh
watch
my
the train
God.
wreck.
You are so mean. Yeah.
Winning and losing doesn't matter that much. I really don't care. That's why it's
Yeah.
funny. Like,
That's why it's funny.
right. Like if I thought winning was so fucking important, it would
Yeah.
be
Then you would
100%
tell me.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
look,
would
we're
tell me.
playing a game. Like to most people that I play with, they act like winning's not that important, but winning is so important. They want to win the first time we play. And I've already
Yeah.
given up. The first time I play, I'm not going to win. No problem.
Right. Yeah.
Second time, probably not either. I've got to learn the game. So,
Yeah.
and then once I learn the game, I'm not like I've got to win.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the best I can.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse, at least.
That's good. I'm glad that we're not like that. I guess I kind of am a little bit chaotic because sometimes I'm nicer to you and sometimes I'm not.
Mm. If you teach me a game, it wouldn't be fair on the first teach. But on the second
Yeah.
time, well, then, that's my fault, especially if I didn't ask you.
Yeah.
But I'm usually pretty good about asking a lot of questions if I don't know.
I have
I
a
just
lot
ask.
less sympathy for you in game 2 for sure. Game 2,
No,
it's
well,
like, come on, we've played it.
I
So
ask a lot of questions. So,
yeah,
that's
which
how
is
I get.
cool.
I'm responsible for myself in that realm. I know I have to ask questions because I'm not going to learn any other way.
Sink
Um,
or swim.
yeah, pretty much. The second part of that earlier question about um,
Spreading out versus doing. Oh wait, is that
no, the
what we're
design
talking about?
question. I forgot
Oh
about the
shit.
design question earlier.
Okay.
Anyway, there was a second part to that question, whatever that question was.
The question
The
was, do you listen to your playtesters if they want to just do the fun stuff?
Oh no, yeah, the question was, do you listen to your playtesters, or how do you listen to them, or what do you give them what they want, basically? Well, okay, so the second part of that question is, and it goes with the saying that is said by writers usually, and that is, painters love to paint, writers love to get published. Like it's the thing that like a writer gets done with their work and they have to get published so it can be recognized. Where a lot of painters are just like most
No one's
painters,
gonna care anyway.
it's like I'll continue working on this until I just have to give up at some point, you know,
Yeah.
and then it becomes a thing. And you hear that as a common thing with artists that say, I just abandoned it, and then now it's a thing. But I
Mm.
would have kept working on it had you let me. I'd have kept painting on it. I kept fixing these little things. Nothing. It's never perfect, and I just had to stop.
Yeah.
And writing is a totally different thing. Like writing has an end goal. You have to have an ending. You
Yeah.
know. So in board game design, it's a little bit of the publishing books thing. As when you design a game, the question was, where does board game design lie? Does it lie in the I'm done when I'm published, or I'm just enjoying the designing part? You know,
Well, I'm not a writer or an artist, but I think that saying is bullshit.
probably
Anyway, because
but
it,
it's more to illustrate a point,
yeah, right. So
which is
we'll say it illustrates a point, but I think that honestly, I think that it is just too simplified, and I don't think you can even apply it to board game people either, because you're a designer who cares more about the art than getting it published. For a start, you don't care about that stuff, and other some do and some don't to varying degrees. Some just want to
true.
make a
It's all
thing. Some, I mean, some people are just doing it for work and they just want to, make 20 games in a year, and some don't care if they make one.
But there is a point of like having to finish it and put it out there so people can see it though. But like for me, it's like a means to an end. It's so that I can get more stuff published, not so that I can make any kind of living. It's just so more stuff will get likely to get published, so I can do
Right.
more stuff.
It would, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's a nice thing, I suppose. I suppose maybe it is more like writing then because you want people to at least play it and go, that was really good. Or, you know,
You
or
do
it
have
wasn't.
the
Pat on the back. You did a thing.
there is the extreme of people who want to make product. You know, they're like, well, this is a product. I've got to make one. Doesn't matter if it's like top 10, whatever in the fuck. I'm just gonna make it and put it out there. And I remember a designer talk about his own designs and say, I don't think I've made anything good. Like that designer
Really?
saying, I don't think I made anything excellent. Definitely nothing top 10. He just made some stuff and put it
Mm.
out there. He makes products.
Hmm.
And like that was a completely different philosophy than me. And it was really hard to hear
Mm.
somebody say that because it just like it felt like I was dying inside when they said that. I was like, why would you possibly publish something if you didn't think it was the top 10 of something, you know? Like
Yeah.
even the top 10 of what you can do. Like maybe you recognize the limitation of your talent and you're like, well, this is the best I could have done with what I had. That's it, done. And it doesn't have to be the top 10, but it's the top 10 things I could make. Even that is something, but just saying, I made a thing, put it out there, it sold. Next thing.
Yeah, but that's everything though. We can't. We It's not like we can't just have the cream of the crop in every kind of thing because I mean, what does that even look like? You can't do that. You can't. This is all subjective stuff that you can't. Objective, all objective. Oh
I don't
no,
know if it's
subjective,
subjective. Hmm.
subjective. I was right the first time. Like look at all the shit films and the shit books and the shit what like yeah, there's a lot of rubbish out there, but people have to go out and they have to try and they have to see what happens. It might resonate with someone. Look at Friends, for example. That is a very mediocre show
You
that
think
did
it's mediocre?
extremely well. So
You
you
think it's
just never
mediocre?
know. You just never fucking know. Put your mediocre shit out there and we'll see what happens. It might be the next best fucking thing.
Well, I heard an argument for Top Gun, the last Top Gun made. It's like, well, you might not like that kind of a movie, but it is the best type of like of that style of movie. That's the best thing that it could have probably been made. Fanfare, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, I never really thought about that. Like, it's like doing worker placement. Like, this is the best worker placement I possibly could have ever made. This is, that cheesy, for me, it's cheesy action testosterone movie. Here is
Mm.
the best version of it now.
Yeah.
Which lots of people watched it and
Right.
probably enjoyed it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And I mean, like sometimes we will have, you know, some kind of shit for dinner that's really, really not great. And it doesn't give us
Mac and
any nutritional
cheese,
value, but it's comforting.
mac and cheese, the old
Yeah.
mac and cheese
Whatever
argument.
it is. Whatever it is. We don't really do mac and cheese in Australia. It's not really a
Mm.
thing.
Well, it's the Anthony Bourdain loved what is it, mac and cheese from
Oh, okay.
KFC, and like
Oh
it
my
was just
God.
comfort food for him. It's
Yeah.
like no matter like all the badass food he's ever had, he still always
Right.
goes back to that KFC mac and cheese,
Right.
and
And
that's what that
without the
is.
stuff that's average, then all of the amazing things won't be as amazing, I
That's
guess.
true.
Right?
Maybe
We need to
you
play
wouldn't
some
have your
shit
shit
games.
whistles.
Wouldn't Hey! Yeah, wait. What? Oh
You wouldn't
yeah.
have shit whistles.
Yeah, I wouldn't have shit whistles. It's good. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were insulting it or not. I'm like, hey, it was
I'm
good.
definitely
Oh
not
wait, you're not
insulting it.
insulting it.
He's a good designer. I love his stuff.
Yeah.
Even like way back in they call it the Rhine and something else, but it's the I will always remember it as Wisherfart.
Wish a
The
fart.
yeah, Wisherfart. It's like it starts with an R. It's an early Spielworks game that was one of his
Right.
earliest games, the first
Okay.
part of the Cole trilogy. which I guess is not a trilogy anymore. There's 4 games in it.
Right.
He's just
Yep.
done a lot of cool stuff.
What is a trilogy if it's
Quadrilogy,
got four?
quadrilogy,
Quadrilogy
quad, quad something.
doesn't sound like a word.
I know it doesn't. I had to look it up. What do you call a quad? Um, have you ever heard of a rattlesnake roundup?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. That's an
So
American thing.
okay, so it is an American thing, and it's really big in Texas. I saw that rattlesnake roundup's coming up in a couple of months. Okay, rattlesnake roundup is where they used to go around and gather up a bunch of rattlesnakes, and they have
Sounds like a
like
bad idea already.
and then they have like a carnival kind of a deal, and then they do all these tricks with rattlesnakes, and they skin them alive right there, and they cook them,
Oh, what?
and you can buy like rattlesnake,
No.
fucking fresh rattlesnakes, skins and shit. You can buy rattlesnake
Oh, it's
belts. You can buy like
horrible.
all your rattlesnake stuff. You can get it there. And anyone that I know that's ever tried rattlesnake, they've had it at a rattlesnake roundup. And what they do, like they treat the rattlesnakes really bad. They get like a 50-gallon jug, like those big old metal uh, things, to put
Yeah,
stuff in,
yeah,
a
yeah.
container, a big metal container, and they
Mm.
just fill it full of rattlesnakes. Like if they catch a rattlesnake, they throw it in there and they throw it in there and they bring all these rattlesnakes and they kill them and cook them and all this crazy stuff. And it stinks so bad because the rattlesnakes are all pooping on each other. And so
Ew.
it's so fucking gross and disgusting. I'll never go again. I went when I was like 10 years old. They took me to this rattlesnake thing and just the people were nuts. You had like half the people in cowboy uniforms buying rattlesnake belts and rattlesnake belt buckles and everything
Oh man, it's
rattlesnake.
horrible. I don't get
It is
into that shit. I
so
don't like
horrible.
it. I feel so like I feel bad if I kill an ant. I really try not to kill things. I don't want to kill
Mm.
things.
Yeah, I guess it keeps the rattlesnake probably in check, maybe. I don't know if it has any natural predators except for other snakes.
Mm.
We do have a lot of rattlesnakes, though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Even
we have this problem where we kill the predators and then we get like too much of
rattlesnake
the
issues.
pests.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have that problem. That's a thing because we keep killing is that the whole thing of like Yellowstone or whatever where they had to bring the wolves back because
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
there were too many like grazers and then there was no plants and then that just screwed everything up. So
Yeah.
people need to just stop killing things and then it'll be fine. Just let nature do the killing. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds gross. Why do you want to eat snakes anyway? I don't
I
see
don't
the
know.
appeal.
I don't know. But
And
everyone always says it tastes similar to chicken, and it's like,
also skinning
why?
things alive is a bit rough. Like, really?
It
Why do we have
is.
to do that?
It is. The whole thing is fucked up. But I guess,
Yeah.
they villainized the snake, because of how dangerous it is. And like on one hand, you have to villainize it so that people will be wary of it. But then it
Right.
gets to the point where they actually demonize it, and now
Yeah.
they have to go and
Be cruel to it.
be
And
cruel.
yeah.
And I think if you catch a rattlesnake, I think it used to be $50. It might have gone up to like $75 a rattlesnake if you can get, a whole thing of rattlesnakes. Now you can sell them by the pound. Rattlesnakes, pretty freaky.
Texas, everyone.
Yeah, Texas rattlesnake roundup. My mom
Cool.
used to be so scared of rattlesnakes.
Really?
Yeah,
So I bet
well,
she
she's
loved it. Did she love it? She was like,
no,
yeah, rattlesnake roundup.
no.
Let's get him. Let's.
My
No?
mom hated snakes.
Okay.
So, and she was superstitious. She hated snakes. She was superstitious. Somebody got her like a little purse thingy to keep her, like a little change purse thing that was rattlesnake. And to be nice, she threw it in her purse, right? So she had this little
Right.
rattlesnake thing, and then she starts freaking out because she started noticing all the snakes that were dying, like a snake that was like in the middle of the street that got ran over, and then like she saw a snake in somebody's
Oh, she
backyard, and
kept
like
seeing
she
snakes
kept
everywhere.
seeing snakes everywhere. It freaked her the fuck out.
They were haunting her.
Yeah, yeah, she
Kill my
became
friend.
way aware of snakes for a moment.
That's funny.
Yeah, it freaked her out hardcore.
All right, should we leave it there and talk about more things next week?
Sure, sounds good.
It's
It's
been an hour.
been we got like 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
No,
Quick.
just
Say
joking.
something in 30
All right,
seconds.
how do you turn
All
this
right.
damn thing off? I guess we'll
Bye.
see everybody next week. Nobody was here to chat.
No one was
Suck.
here. No one even,
Oh,
yeah,
suck. Maybe it was too late. Maybe it was too early. Who knows?
who
Anyway,
knows?
we'll turn this damn thing off. How do I turn it off?